time for y'all to learn about this. I'm going to explain my 5 reasons why they should bring back my childhood shows called Shawneetown Station, Thomas of France. I'm not going to say this once, so it's time for y'all to learn. So don't get me too. Now, my first reason. Now, let's begin my video. As long as I can remember when I was a kid, back then when I was 4 years old, I didn't know anything about Disney, Marvel, Anime, Cartoon Network, and PS Kids, things like that. I was living on my home planet Vegeta with my mother Gine, my father Bardock, my aunt Fasha, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, Yamoshi and his wife, and my uncles Turris and Pergus, and my brothers and sisters. And apparently by this as well, I learned the TV shows Thomas and Friends of Shawneetown Station has been out in the year of 1988. And that time I was not born yet. Because in the year of 1988, that's when my parents, Ginny and Bardock, first meet. And they start dating and they got married in the year of 1991. But that's not the real reason. My 5 real reasons is, my first reason is, the reason they should bring back Thomas and Friends and Shawneetown Station because my childhood shows was made by Bev Arkwright. The reason she made Shawneetown Station Thomas and Friends because she likes trains like I do. And I would respect her opinion. I never met her before, but she did a good job create Thomas and Friends and Shawneetown Station. And they are connected because Shawneetown Station is a crossover with Thomas and Friends. And it's also involved of it too because when I first watched Shawneetown Station and Thomas and Friends in the year of 2003, when I was 12 years old, back then I didn't have any anime accounts. Back then, I was a kid in the year 2003. And then when I started watching Shawneetown Station and Thomas and Friends, I enjoyed watching one series of Shawneetown Station of 4 seasons. And it shows about 4 Thomas and Friends Class and Most series episodes. But in the period by this, I don't like Steamer because he always give the people a hard time by lying to people, trying to hurt them, and causing a lot of trouble for Shawneetown Station. He doesn't know even about running a train station. And he made his nephew Steamy cause a lot of trouble. But in Shawneetown Station Season 1, it made me sad that Harry Keeper retired and trust Stacy to keep his granddaughters, Tanya and Kara, safe. But in Shawneetown Station Season 4, the episode's called Whisper You're Here and One of the Family, he does return. So that means Harry Keeper only appears in Shawneetown Station, the TV show, 2 seasons, the seasons 1 and 4. And Stacey Jones only appears in 4 seasons. Harry Keeper only appears in 3 seasons. The seasons 2, 3, and 4 of Shawneetown Station, the TV show. And he appears in my favorite Thomas and Friends movie called Thomas the Magic Railroad. That's the movie's been out since the year of 2000, when I was 10 years old. Depends of my young age. Now, my second reason is the reason they should bring back Shining Time Station and Thomas of France, because I think they should continue running Shining Time Station with 11 seasons and put Thomas of France season 5 episodes of Shining Time Station, put Thomas of France season 6 episodes of Shining Time Station, put Thomas of France season 7 episodes of Shining Time Station, put Thomas of France season 8 episodes of Shining Time Station. And put Thomas of France season 9 episodes of Shining Time Station, put Thomas of France season 10 episodes Shining Time Station, and put Thomas of France season 11 episodes of Shining Time Station. That's why the TV show Shining Time Station can have 11 seasons to watch it by 11 months, less than a year. Now, my third reason is the reason they should bring back Thomas of France, because it's my second favorite Thomas of France show. Was created by Bev Arkwright. When I first watched Thomas of France in the year 2003, I enjoyed watching two different series, the Classic Mall series and the CGI series. But I don't like the Orange is Gold series. They should cancel the Orange is Gold series years ago and continue running the Orange is Gold, continue the CGI series. And since Thomas of France, the Classic Mall series has 11 seasons, they're all good. But it's a disappointment that the other engines like Fierce Freddy, Boko, Sputter and Dodge, Derek Diesel Class 40, Proteus, Mighty Mac, Stephanie doesn't become full CGI like the other engines did. And my second favorite Thomas of France series is called the CGI series. As long as I can remember, Thomas of France, the CGI series, been out in the year of 2010, and it ended in the year of 2024. I just don't know why they ended it. But I do know is this, my opinion, the CGI series of Thomas of France, the seasons 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 were all good. Now, my first series, the way they should bring back Thomas of France, because it's really good to teach people about being honest, being a hard worker, helping people, and fixing problems too. Like one time that Thomas always gets in trouble. And I don't know how many times he gets in trouble by his controller Sir Toppin Hat. He got in trouble by his controller Sir Toppin Hat 90 times because he disobeyed. And he knows he's not supposed to have fun on the Sodor Railway. When you live on the island of Sodor, you're supposed to work, not just have fun. They only have fun on the holidays. But when it comes to running a railway, by pulling coaches and pulling freight cars, working for a living, that's business. Being an adult. Now, my fourth reason is they should bring back Thomas of France, because, like I said, it's a good TV show. They just need to continue making money to sell stuff to run the TV show. And lastly, my fifth reason is they should bring back Thomas of France, continue running the series to get the number of more seasons. I will say this should give Shane Thomas and Friends about 40 seasons, and that's it, because not a billion seasons, because that would be crazy, because a billion is a 1 in 12 zeros, and it depends how much money it costs. And I know how much money for 100 seasons will take for 100 years to watch it. In this case, for a 100 seasons, it's $1 million. A 1 in 9 zeros. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.